A lot of people have asked me, why did I have to replace the motor in my STI? Well, just take a listen. What you guys just heard is rod knock. Cylinder 2 decided to spin a rod bearing, and today we're tearing into the short block to figure out why. My name's Alberto, and welcome to my channel. To bring the new viewers up to speed, last October of 2024, I was on my way to work one night driving my STI when I took a turn onto the freeway too hard and too fast, and by the time I got to work, I heard a very strange noise. I remember going into work and just thinking and Googling everything I could, trying to figure out what it was. And then by the time it was around 1 o'clock, I was on my break and I decided to go back out to the car, turn it over, and that's when I knew I was completely fucked. I don't think it quite settled in yet. I wanted to deny it and think it could never have happened to me. And by the time I drove the car home and I got it to my house, pulled it into the driveway, it was very apparent what went down. Now, before we get into the teardown right behind me, I do want to preface it with this. I think the STI at the time had something around 68,000 miles. It also had 3 modifications done to it that I installed myself: the IG air oil separator, a coil radiator, and an ETS Extreme catback. Everything else was untouched. There was no access port, no Cobb Stage 1 OTS map, no intakes, none of that. Here's the entire short block for my stock EJ25 that was previously in the STI. Now, if you guys are interested in checking any of it out and seeing how I disassembled the block, feel free to check out that other video. But for this video, we're gonna mainly focus on cylinder 2 and showing the crank. Taking a look at cylinder 2's connecting rod, you can see where the rod bearing sits, or where it sat, I should say. There's some beautiful scorch marks within the connecting rod here. And that happens because you have an overheating condition. That bearing gets super hot due to a lack of lubrication. And when it gets super hot, it ultimately breaks, creating that beautiful metal glitter all over your oil pan and oil passages all along the engine. Now, when you compare this to another connecting rod with healthy rod bearings still intact, you guys can see there's no scorching or marring anywhere on the rod bearing itself. And that will be more apparent when we go over to the crank. Let's take a look at this journal. Do you guys see how clean and unscathed that is? I could eat off that thing. Now let's go over to the one that had the failure. Do you guys see the difference? To me, it's very readily apparent. All the scorchings right there. And in fact, part of the rod bearing is actually still on the journal. The other half is just completely gone. And here's a close-up for you guys. Look how bad the scorching is. I'm actually surprised this rod bearing survived, just because the other bearing was completely shattered all throughout my oil pan. Before we move forward, I want you guys to take a good look at these pistons and tell me which one corresponds with the failure. If you guessed this piston here, you're absolutely right. Look at the crown of the piston right at the top. You guys see how clean it is? It was definitely making contact with the head. So now that you guys know what happened, let me tell you guys why I think it happened. I don't think this was due to aftermarket parts or anything like that. I think this was just Subaru doing Subaru things. Now, funny enough, I actually tried to get the car warranted where I bought it, because I actually bought a third-party warranty at CarMax. That's where I purchased this car. Now, before you guys start typing in the comments, that's a whole nother story that I'm gonna be doing a video on why I do not recommend anybody buying an enthusiast car at CarMax. But when I tried to get it warranted through them, they tried blaming my oil starvation issue on a coil radiator. Yeah, that's what I thought too when they first told me that. I just couldn't believe it. I think this is just the result of the EJ showing its shortcomings. It's no surprise to anybody. The EJ itself has horrible oiling issues. It is no surprise why Killer B and IG sell tons of oil pans, pickups, and baffles. And I know I've already said it a ton of times in other videos. I swear I'm not sponsored by them. But there is a reason why they sell tons of pickups and baffles, because the OEM baffle, junk. The OEM pickup, junk. Now, I will say this, having cylinder 2 fail in comparison to the more common and more heard of cylinder 4 was a shocker to me. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section, because I'm curious to see what you guys think of all this. Now, my STI at the moment currently runs just fine. Let's hope it stays that way, knock on wood. I've been running on the IG 550 short block for I think something like 6,000 miles, making 500 wheel horsepower on E85, and I've had 0 issues with it. And when we did the rebuild initially, I did upgrade the oiling system just so I had a little bit more peace of mind. In the future, I do plan on building my own short block, so I'm very excited to see what happens with the STI itself. We are planning on making 700 to 750 wheel horsepower sometime in the next 2 to 3 years, hopefully, but we'll see how things go. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like as it really does support the channel. I do want to thank every single one of you guys that has subscribed to the channel so far. We've just been growing like crazy, and again, I could not do it without you guys, the viewers, so I do really appreciate it. Until next time, I'll catch you guys on the next one.